What's up, YouTube? It's me, the Artisan MC, and today I'm going to review for you Blue Eyed Samurai Episode 4. Now, took a little time to get to this episode. There was a couple of movies I wanted to watch before then. But getting into this episode, you're into a little bit more of what I would consider a female's perspective story. And by that, I mean that you get more about what it means to be a woman in this world of Japan in this era. Now, I've heard complaints about this that the show was just too patriarchal and reasons to not like the show because of stuff shown in this episode. But for me, I view it as watching a slave movie. There was a time in history where black folks were slaves to Europeans. And I've had to sit through a bunch of movies being made about it and debate it on its accuracy. I don't see this as any different. Now, you cannot like all day long that in this time period, women didn't have many options. So the fuck what? You and your modern sensibilities don't have anything to do on what already happened in the past. And you can't bring your modern sensibilities to the past and think you're going to affect some change. You don't have a time machine, and whatever happened in the past spurns you forward to get to the position where you can be in today with all the ability to choose whatever you want to and still choose wrong and run amok, to still do the same things. OnlyFans exists for women, not for men. So, that being said, I don't have a problem necessarily with this episode centering around a brothel and women involved in the brothel, from the madam on down to Akimi finally showing up in this city and getting a job in this brothel. Now, you know where we left off, where Akimi had left her counselor. I can't think of his name right now, and wanted to go into the brothel trade to get to the next city. And sure enough, this guy, Goro, has taken her from town to town to town to try to find this one place where she wants to be, where she wants to be um, a hoe in a brothel. But what she's secretly doing is looking for Taigen. While she's busy looking for Taigen, Mizu and Ringo come to a city. I can't think of the name of it, they didn't mention it, where there is a brothel, and Mizu looks for a specific brothel and goes inside and asks for Madame Kaji. Now, after some time, Madame Kaji does appear, and you get a little bit of who she is before she appears to Mizu. You get the sense that she is someone who cares about the girls under her charge, but make no mistake about it, it's a damn business, and you need to get out there and do business. Now, part of this is, I would say, a little bit of romanticization of what it means for a woman to own a brothel and have these women there working for her, that they can be protected under her if they just, do what they need to. I don't necessarily buy that. I will say, for most men in that time period. I think a brothel would hold a certain place in their heart that they wouldn't want to see destroyed. So they don't really try to tear it down. I mean, unless you have some religious zealots. And I don't think that's what it is. So, what level of protection Madam Kaji can offer is actually just words. She can't really offer shit because you find out from her interaction with Mizu that there is a boss who runs this town, who owns everything almost in this town, and it's Boss Hamada. And Boss Hamada has taken something from Madam Kaji that is very valuable to her, and it is a person, a deaf and semi-mute person that she is close to, and that she promised to keep safe and never have another man touch her. Cool. Mizu was here to get information from Madam Kaji on how to enter the castle where Abijah Fowler is. We get more of what it takes to be a courtesan or a hoe in this brothel. And it takes a lot of knowledge and it takes a lot of skill. And while Madam Kaji is talking with Mizu and trying to explain vagaries of this stuff to her, Mizu is against that. There is no art in sex. And Madam Kaji explains to her that there is art in sex, which is true, but it also only goes to show how much of a child, in some senses, that Mizu is. That Mizu doesn't have any experience these experiences because Mizu is pretty much focused on just revenge. What in these scenes where her and Madam Kaji interact, it makes Mizu seem like the dumb child in the room. It doesn't know shit. Now, while Mizu turns down every courtesan offered to her and does not want Madam Kaji outside of information, she does end up in a situation where, once again, she's pulling her sword unnecessarily to show that she is skilled with the blade and she has skills to trade for the information she wants. Now, this is where Madam Kaji tells her the story of her friend that has been taken by Boss Amada and is locked up in his tower across the street. Now, Madam Kaji does ask Mizu to do her a favor, and she will give the information that she wants. And the favor Madam Kaji asks of Mizu is to kill her friend that has been taken hostage by Boss Amata. Now, there's a huge little backstory between Madam Kaji and the woman that she once killed in an accidental way. It could be interesting, but to me, it just seems more like how no different than a pimp finding shit. Somebody who's had abuse and a rough life, and somebody coming in to actually take charge and protect them is a godsend. Because of that, because it can be the same either way, male or female, I don't see where the misogyny is coming in. I really don't. But somebody would have to explain that to me. Be that as it may, Mizu does get to trade her skills with the blade for Madam Kaji's information. And after that, you see the effect this kill is having on Mizu. It's bothering her a bit. And it should. Now, Once Mizu goes about her mission and completes it, she comes back to the brothel and gets the information on Abijah Fowler that she needs from Madame Kaji. But there is a commotion outside. And outside, you see a bunch of the Thousand Fangs um, group, head by Boss Amada, that they've showed up to Madame Kaji's place. And there's a little boy to point a finger at the blue-eyed samurai Mizu. And now they are about ready to get into a full-on fight of people just getting hacked in half because Mizu went directly home and they followed the footsteps. So, with that, I do like how this episode ends because it ends in a sense that you really wonder what the hell is going to happen to these people. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bloody fight. I can tell you that much. But beyond that, I don't want to say anymore. So far, this was the most female centric episode of Blue Eyed Samurai, but I don't have a problem with that because the places that they were going into should be gone into in this day and age for this time frame of this show. It should be going into. It's a thing. You're not fully autonomous back then in the past. So I was happy to see that. Still taken away by the animation. It seems pretty consistent and it looks good. So shout out to them on that. But otherwise, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm feeling asleep now. So I'm going to drop this down and edit and get out of here and get some sleep. So thank you for showing up today. This was my review of Blue Eye Samurai episode 4. I will get into episode 5 possibly tomorrow. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.